Welcome to Generation Dragons episode 90. Steve, how are you?
90, my man. I'm doing well. I can't believe we're hitting 90.
Uh,
So, cheers.
90. Cheers.
Dink.
Ding.
Happy New Year, by the way.
Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy
All that
Kwanzaa.
kind of
All
fun
that good
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah. A couple weeks behind us now, but 3 weeks behind us now. But been that long.
Yeah. Don't remind me. Don't remind me. Yeah. Time flies when you're having fun, Steve.
And family.
Unfortunately, we haven't been having fun together because we haven't seen each other in 3 weeks
Yeah.
or longer.
More.
It's been
More, because
more.
I think
Yeah.
it was the middle of December. Not long after your
Yeah.
birthday,
It's
buddy.
been a while. It's
Yeah.
been
So anyway,
a while.
shall we get
Yeah.
right into it?
Welcome
Say
everybody.
hi, do the thing.
Thanks for joining everybody. Appreciate it. It's been a while. Like we said, we always say we'll try to do more. Maybe Steve, now that it's cold outside, we'll actually put schedules in our calendars that we do record every week or every other week at least. But anyways, here, folks, we're here to talk about the games
Our
that
first
we
loves.
couldn't put first loves that we couldn't put down. Steve, I'm gonna hand it over to you. Just kick us off because
All right.
age before beauty, sir. Age before beauty.
I'll take any bonuses I can get. I'll take it. I'm going to go with a really cliche one, but it was right in the time of my life for this game to hit, and it's going to be the classic Super Mario Brothers.
The Mario Brothers are back in the all-new legacy action game Super Mario Brothers for Nintendo Entertainment System. Travel across land, sea, and sky in a never-ending, action-packed adventure that will leave you glued to your seat. Can you topple the terrible Koopa King and save the princess? Pick up a copy of Super Mario Brothers for Nintendo Entertainment System at your local toy store today and take on the challenge. Now you're playing with power.
I was used to playing Atari back then, and going from 4-bit to 8-bit was just a huge jump, and the Super Mario Brothers knocked me out of park, if you will. Like, I couldn't believe how good it was. And I hated Duck Hunt in the beginning because of that stupid dog, but loved Super Mario Brothers, played it to death, but never finished it till I figured out how to do that weird jump where you get all the lives. But yeah, great game. I remember trying to sell this to my parents by saying it's a cartoon you control. It's great. You gotta see this. But yeah, so Super Mario Brothers for my number one. You?
Yeah. I mean, I'll keep it into the same realm, and I'll go with Duck Hunt. Duck Hunt, and I was on the opposite side because I did love my Super Mario very far in it because I was probably like 6 or so. But Duck Hunt, I just couldn't put it down. I'd sit there and try to shoot the duck. I would shoot the
The
duck,
dog.
try to shoot the dog,
And they'd laugh at you?
and yeah. Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, and I couldn't put down. It was always, and then a competition between my brothers and I, and see who could get the highest points and do the best, as it always is when it comes to brotherly
Yep.
and family love, right? So, but yeah, Duck Hunt, man, that was my first one I went at. So
Nice. All right, I'll
Yeah.
take the next one, and next one's going to be something we talk about a lot, and we both love is The Legend of Zelda, but specifically
Yep.
A Link to the Past for the SNES.
This time it calls you to the ultimate battle of good against evil. To a quest few are prepared for, and fewer still survive. But perhaps now the power is within your grasp. It's the game that's already a legend. The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, only on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Now you're playing with superpower.
That game blew me away. I was hooked. I couldn't play it. It's one of the first games I played it into the wee hours of the morning, and would go to school half dead. Parents not knowing because they'd be asleep. And I had my own
yeah.
room with my Super Nintendo in the basement at the time, so they didn't really know that I was up playing, or I would have been in a lot of trouble. But Yeah, that game was just blew me away. And then I remember discovering there's the whole Mirrorverse or Mirror World, if you will. And then I'm like, what? The game just doubled in size? Oh my God! So, but that was a good game to me. Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past.
Nice.
You,
Link to
man?
the Past. One of the still one of the best Zelda games by far. I mean, for me, it's really hard. And again, these are in no particular order at this point. But I'm going to go with the same in the same generation as the original one, ice hockey.
The challenge is ice hockey. The power is Nintendo. It's as slick as ice, as fast as fury. Throw in your shoulder, dig in your blade, blast it in, or be blown away. Ice hockey from Nintendo. You can
It's picking your fat guys, your skinny guys.
Yeah, we called that like
trying to start fights.
Wayne Gretzky or Ron Hextall, the fat guy.
Yeah. So just getting on there, making sure you pick Canada to fight, the USSR and or whoever else you're fighting against playing. So that was always the key in at the family at the house. We'd be playing duck hunt or ice hockey. Then eventually on the Super Nintendo, Stanley Cup.
That would have been for
I think it was.
Super Nintendo. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Super Nintendo. Yeah, so those were the big ones, and I still go back to it now. I mean, I'm so glad it's on the Switch online, and I've got the NES controller, so I'll just pop those NES controllers on and start playing some ice hockey on my big TV.
Nice.
So it's an enjoyable game. Still is. It plays decently well for as old as it is. It has aged not as bad as you'd expect it to have aged.
So, honorable mention there. It isn't in my top 5 or whatever we're going with, but Blades of Steel, man. For me, it was Blades of Steel. Did you ever play that?
I did, but I didn't have Blades of Steel, and so I only played it here and there at cousin's house and stuff like that. But yeah,
Or if you
it was
rented
good.
or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. All right, I'll take the next one. This is one probably no one really knows. I've talked about it a lot on the show, though. But I'm going to go with Star Control 2 on the 3DO.
In the 90s, we're discovering revolutionary truths about our inner selves.
Nature is the source of my strength. I just want to be loved. Man, this blows.
That game just blew me away with all into sci-fi, so it was right up my alley. It was the first spacefaring game where I was in command of a starship and had a crew with all these different abilities, and every race had its own ability that was unique, strong or weak against one another. Just the game blew me away, and I loved the story. It was a game that I didn't know it was going to be any good. I just played it almost on a whim. I worked at a video game store then, and I rented it out to some guy, and he's like, "This is one of the best games I've played. You got to try this one." And so I did, and I just played it all night. I just couldn't stop.
Nice.
And It was that good. I don't want to say dwell on it because most people don't know what it is, but gem for me. And you can still play it to this day, but the 3DO version was the best because it had voice actors. Now they've put that out in the fan-made project, like the Urquan Masters, I think it's called. It's the same game, and they have all the voice files there. But
nice.
Excellent game. Didn't age well graphic-wise, though, because it was all CG back then, like early 90s CG. So when you play it, kind of looks hokey. But story was good. Yeah, back to you, man.
Yeah, I think so. I've got 2 on here that I don't know what to put first, but I'm going to go with Pokemon Red and Blue.
Knew you were going.
Pokemon Red and Blue.
Hey, little buddy, want to ride?
Pikachu!
Yeah, whatever.
I'll be right back!
Where can you catch all 150 Pokemon? On your Game Boy, that's where. Pokemon for Game Boy is here. With both packs, you can catch them all. Games and systems.
Was probably I mean, that's what hooked me. They hooked me on Pokemon. I even have a Game Boy, and I was hooked on Pokemon. I played it at school, played it on other people's Game Boys. Eventually got a Game Boy Pocket. I don't even know when or how I got one, but I did. And played the crap out of it when I could. I borrowed it from friends. I just didn't want to put it down, and that was my big Pokemon. Well, actually, it was Pokemon Blue that I played most. But yeah, and I mean, it just started the love of. As you can see behind me right there, there's a Pokemon Pokedex. Over here is Pokemon Yellow, Japanese. It's a little hard to see in the screen, but there's that. I mean, I've got the Pokeball tattoo, collect Pokemon cards still, all that good stuff. It started my love. I mean, and now my kids are into Pokemon. It's just, just an ongoing thing. It's awesome. But yeah, that was my next one. And you know
I
what,
knew
Steve?
that.
I'm gonna jump into
Go
my
for
next
it.
one, and then I'll give you another. So this was the tough other one, Sonic and Knuckles. As everyone know, I'm a big
Hmm.
fan,
Wasn't sure
and
which order those would go for you.
Sega presents one champion of good, one pawn of evil. It's Sonic and Knuckles. Not only is it the greatest Sonic game ever, it also comes with lock-on technology. Plug in Sonic 2 and use Knuckles to play in a whole new way. Plug in Sonic 3 for 34 megs of power, new worlds, and surprise endings. Sonic and Knuckles with lock-on technology, only on Sega Genesis. Sonic and Knuckles, other game cartridges, and Sega Genesis, each sold separately.
yeah, and that's the tough part. I wasn't sure which one I'd take over. The other, you asked me a different day, and it might be Sonic and Knuckles, but that was it. I mean, I played Sonic and Knuckles like crazy. Sonic 3, putting it on top of Sonic and Knuckles, just, unlock a few things, do all that good stuff. And I didn't I didn't have a Genesis right away. I had it after a few years later, probably about 3 or 4 years later, uh, before later popularity level. And I mean, loved it. Loved my Genesis. Played Sonic and Knuckles nonstop on a little 13-inch TV in my parents' bedroom because that's where my game consoles were connected to, and that was it. That was it.
Your Tower of Power.
Uh, Tower of Power.
Well, cartridge power. You need the
Yeah, yeah.
32X on it, but yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm going to diverge a little bit from console to PC because this is a game I still play to this day. Like if I'm going traveling or something, it always ends up playing with my buddy Serge, who I tend to travel with to a lot of events, or we'll have like a LAN party here and play it still. But it's StarCraft.
Force my hand. Very well. Adjudicator, recall the fleet. There are Zerg here that we must purge.
Warcraft. That game just blew me away. I was hooked playing it. Warcraft, it was like it, Warcraft 2 and whatnot. But StarCraft, for me, being a sci-fi guy, just blew me away. And I always have to play humans. And he always plays Protoss. No one ever plays a Zerg. But the Protoss is probably the better one to use. But I just love playing that game. And man, just I'm not very good at it compared to some of the competitive people, but I still enjoy having fun and playing it. But that game was it back in the day, and I'd play it way up in the wee hours of the morning with my brother or friends back in the day, and we're roommates at one point. But
Nice.
yeah, up to you again, man.
Nice. I guess for me, the next one would be Shenmue. I mean, I've talked about Shenmue so many times on our podcast here, video cast, whatever the heck you want to call it, on our show. Um, it
My name is Ryo Hazuki. My father was killed by the warlord Lan Di. During my quest for vengeance, I've traveled far and wide and consorted with numerous unsavory characters. But enough about me. Let's talk about you, Nozomi.
Brian? Brian! Who's Nozomi?
Shenmue on Dreamcast, rated T for teen.
it was added to the love of video games. It made my fall in love with Dreamcast, made me want to go to Japan and see what it was like, see if the interaction with players, the games within the game.
Did you find his father?
Everything. It was the man who killed my father. No, Lang D.
Not too many people will get that.
Still haven't found. I know we did find him in Shenmue 3, but I won't ruin that for anyone who's still got to play Shenmue 1 and 2. Yeah, but anyways, it's just a
20
great
years
game.
old, man.
It was way ahead of its time.
Well, 3 isn't, so. But
yeah, no, but it's way ahead of it was way ahead of its time in 99, 2000 when it was released. Like, it was just amazing.
To me, like, it kind of broke the fourth wall. It was the first game I could play a video game inside. Like, I had a Saturn in it. So,
yeah, exactly. Right,
like,
exactly.
So.
Go to the arcade and play arcade games. Like, it was just something different, man. It was great. I know a lot of people will just say, "Oh, it's like a walking sim," or like it's very janky now. But hey, it's not
First of its kind.
Yeah, it created open world. It was one of the first open world games outside of Ocarina of Time and stuff like that. But yeah, Steve, over to you for your next one. Good sir.
All right, this is probably one of the biggest, more recent one because I still play it to this day as well. But I've talked about it a lot, just like you have with Shenmue. But it'd be Halo, and specifically Combat Evolved, the first one. Yeah, I see the Chief back there.
When it seems like all is lost, when it feels as if you have no hope, when you are outnumbered, overpowered, and they've got you cornered, that's when you realize your last best hope is you. Halo, Combat Evolved, rated M for mature.
But that game brought me back into video games, and I was just blown away by it. I had no idea about the game at all, so it caught me off guard. Got hooked on the story, being sci-fi again. I keep bringing that up, but just like this whole super soldier suit, and the whole learning of the Covenant and their multiple races, and just back then I was like relating all the stuff I was learning to the Bible and like different things, and like, is this where they're getting it from? Is this really the real Bible story and stuff like that? But yeah, it was such a good game. Still play it to this day. It's one of the few games that when it comes out I have to play it like day one.
Yeah.
But yeah, like just a great game. So yeah, that's it for my top 5, by the way.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on Halo. I've told the story. Again, it's hard. I don't have many Halo, and I've got one more I'll add on there. But Halo it pushed me over the edge on gaming, right? So at that time, I was 13 years old, 14 years old. It brought me back in, or not brought me back in, but made me realize this is where it's going. Created my love for Xbox, which now I'm heartbroken because Xbox can be third party.
Yeah.
I have all of the Halo stuff. I'm only missing some of the toys.
It's going to be the new Xbox of the future.
Yeah,
whatever you find that has a screen.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so that's it. I mean, I love Halo. I'd rented the Xbox multiple times just so I could play Halo. I probably shouldn't have been playing Halo at the age I was when I was playing it, but that's neither here nor there. That's what I want to say, and I'm putting Tears of the Kingdom on here because it's the most second most recent Zelda game. But for me, it's been any Zelda game. Anytime I play a Zelda game, I
You're
can't put it
hooked.
down.
You're in.
I'm hooked.
Yeah.
Echoes of Wisdom. I picked it up and I was done it within a few weeks, which is crazy for me, who takes
Especially
forever
the
to
size
make.
of a Zelda game.
Yeah, exactly. Tears of the Kingdom was amazing. Story was great. Plays really well. Um, Link to the Past went back to and
Probably
played
my
that
favorite
back in
one.
the day. I mean, I loved
A Link Between.
Wind Waker, Skyward Sword,
Yeah.
Twilight Princess. Um, I mean, the DS ones like Spirit Tracks and oh man, I'm drawing a blank on the other Phantom Hourglass. Just Minish Cap. Like, there's so
Minish
many good
Cap,
stuff.
I was going to
Yeah,
mention if you didn't, because that one hooked me. And then another one that really hooked me was
Link Between Worlds.
Between Worlds. Yeah, I
Yeah,
played that one
yeah.
to death. I just couldn't put to be honest, though, I was held up with medical issues at the time, so it was a perfect time to play it. I had nothing else to do, so
Yeah, right.
for like
Right.
weeks I was off my ass. So on my
Well,
ass, I should say.
yeah, yeah, yes,
So,
yeah. I mean, that's it. I can't, like, for me, I can't be more positive on Zelda. It's one of the best. I can't wait to see what happens
oh heck, I
with.
got the tattoo, man.
Yeah, yeah. That's it, eh? That's it. I've got one on the back of my leg too, and
That's
I'm really
true.
looking forward to see what Switch 2 does and what it can bring. My laptop is being all messed up now, but
Yeah, it's okay.
yeah,
We're
man.
wrapping up soon. I'm going
Yeah,
to mention one honorable mention again. So there's tons. I put like 20 games here to pick from, but this was the game that I actually would walk away from my Nintendo and leave it on for hours to see what would happen, and that was SimCity. I played that game
yes.
to death, and I would like leave it overnight, wake up, pray that there wasn't a natural disaster or something, and that my citizens still liked me and stuff.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I remember SimCity 2000 was what I was playing a ton on PC back in the day. It was one of the only PC games my family's PC could run, and I would just sit there and play that all the time. But yeah, man, everybody, let us know what
yeah. What were
games.
your first loves?
Yeah, or what game you couldn't put down. I mean, Jared, I know any game you play you can't put down, so that doesn't count. But tell us your first love, man. Um, you always have to platinum stuff. You just have to, do that kind of goodness. So, but everybody else, what was your first love? What games couldn't put would just hook you and you couldn't put down? And or what made you just keep on with the story, keep on keeping on,
I want to hear somebody say Atari Adventure or
uh,
or
any of them.
Tetris, man. Even though that's not a story game, that was just super addictive.
Exactly, or Pac-Man or Donkey Kong OG, like anything like that. But anyways, everybody, we appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in today.
We need a Leisure Suit Larry voting there, by the way. But just saying.
You had to put it down if you were going to do what this was.
I know. All right, I'll stop interrupting.
But everybody, thank you so much. Thanks for tuning in today, Steve.
As always, my man.
Again, man.
It's
As
good to see you. You ready?
Keep
Sign
collecting.
off time. Keep gaming.
Yeah.
And keep
safe.
I think there was a little bit of delay between us there, but it worked. So.